growing up, because like I know you mentioned, obviously you were born in Nigeria, then you came to London, right? How old were you when you came to London or
I
UK?
think I was like 7 or 8. I can't
Seven.
remember exactly, but around them ages.
Is for you when like when you make the music you make now, like how do you feel? How do you feel like you kind of bring both of those cultures together in your music, or
Um,
at least try to have like the influence for both sides? Because
I feel like it's just a blessing, isn't it? Really and truly, like it's a blessing to be Nigerian and then have like great education from the UK, and obviously like certain things the UK helps me. Like it makes it much easier for me, especially doing music now. It's like in terms of coming to like America, for instance, if I
right,
probably was living in Nigeria or didn't live in the UK, like getting a visa and stuff would have been 1,000 times harder than it is for me. I could literally just decide on the night that I'm coming to America. I don't really need to do anything, but you know, um, it's a blessing really. Like the culture as well. Like in terms of the music, the way I balance it is just I take my Nigerian culture. In terms of some things with the accent, I just probably speak proper English and just change the accent a little bit. From what I
right,
know
right,
from Nines, really.
right.
Yeah.
When you first came to the UK, was there like a big like culture shock? Because going from one place to another, like I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you were young, but like I'm sure that to some extent, like at first you were like
For
it
sure,
affected you.
100%. Like I was they say this thing called freshie, right? So it's like when you're like fresh from the boat, like
That's a thing over there.
yeah, like if you yeah, they used to call me a freshie.
All the UK rappers I've had here, and this is the first time I'm hearing this.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just call me a freshie because obviously I didn't speak like them, right? I'm
Right.
coming straight from Nigeria. I'm speaking like, hey, hello, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I can't really, I don't understand what they're saying like that. But I had to learn. I had to learn. I remember like times in primary school, which is like, what would
That's
I
like
say,
our
primary
elementary school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Like when you're like 7,
7 years old. Yeah, that's our elementary
yeah,
school.
7,
Yeah,
8.
it's elementary school for us.
So
Yeah.
like I remember just literally, I would just watch people around me. I'll just watch them from afar talking to each other, and I'll just be listening to the way they're talking.
Right.
I go back home and I learn, and I'll learn how to speak like them. Yeah, literally.
And so do you ever like go back to Nigeria for like inspiration? Because like I have a friend from out here. He's from Ghana, and what he does like every year or so, like he's a musician too, and he'll like go back to kind of like, and that's like his musical retreat. He calls it. He's like, yeah, I go back home, I do this, do that, kind of get back in touch with my culture and kind of find new ways to implement that stuff into like the new music I'm creating over here, whether it be the American or like the Afrobeats type of side that he does.
100%. I'm back home like every 2 to 3 months. Like really and truly, right now I'm even trying to work out a way to just move out there. Like,
Oh, you want to move out there
I want to move out
permanently?
there. Yeah, I want to move out there. It's better because like when you're in there, you consume what's happening. You know what's happening. You know before everybody else knows what the scene is doing in terms of the Afrobeat side. Like you're already with it. Like you know the new slangs. You know the new. What's new and stuff. So when you know things like that, you can rap about it. You can be the first to sing about this thing that everybody's going crazy about. So yeah, moving back home is very important because you're in the roots, right?
Right. Did you find it difficult to create Afrobeats music living in the UK then because of those things that you just mentioned, or
Not necessarily. I feel because of my circle, because of the way I grew up in the UK, I didn't just go to the UK and decided to be like a posh person, and
Right.
I don't know about my roots or anything, but I definitely was very into African stuff. Like I always say this every time I go back to Nigeria, because when I go back, they look at me like, oh, she's from London, da 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 da. But like in London, they look at me like I'm mad African.
okay?
If you go on trying to say, like, they look at me like I'm proper like African, but obviously when I go to Niger, I'm not African enough for them. They look at me like I'm British. Like it's weird, but like everything I do, the way I act, the way I speak as well is very, African. I embrace the whole thing.